What felt like a useless piece of advice until you actually tried it? This too shall pass. On those days when I just feel like I can't take it, I think of that. And I know tomorrow will be different. Someone once told me, tomorrow may not be better, but at least it'll be different. In a strange way, that too is comforting. Once begun is half done. I am a terrible procrastinator by nature. I have totally done it well now at 5:02, so I have to wait until 6 o'clock to start cleaning, and I like making things seem like so much work that I can't possibly do them unless I take time off of work. In reality, if you just start a project without thinking about it, you can get everything done in like 15 minutes a day, and it's never really that bad. My grandfather told me this, and I never understood it until I had my own place. Always buy the cheap tools at first, and if you wear it out, break it, then you use it enough to justify getting a nicer, more expensive one. I guess with power tools and stuff. But my grandfather used to say the opposite. Greater than I'm not rich enough to buy cheap things. I still have his tools: think pliers, screwdrivers, files. Keeping my shoulders back. It was a suggestion I saw for preventing panic, anxiety. IDK what it is. But when your shoulders are in that position, it gives some strange feeling of control. I also read somewhere that during panic attacks the body basically wants to curl into fetal position for protection. So I feel like focusing on keeping your arms down and shoulders back is a conscious way to go against that and stay grounded in reality. Works for me. Could work for you too. It opens up your airway because your chest isn't being smothered by your tense shoulders. You can get full breaths. Imagine your nipples are headlights. Lol. That forest app. It grows a tree for up to 2 hours, and during that time, you can't access any apps you think will distract you. If you want to open a distracting app, you'd have to kill your tree. All your trees, dead or alive, appear in a little forest. I have always had trouble motivating myself to focus on homework and not look at Reddit, YouTube. But this app is just enough guilt to not open. Themis year I haven't killed anything yet, and I'm surprised at how much I can care about a small virtual tree. People told me about it, and I just completely assumed that I'd never use it or it wouldn't work for me, considering how distractible I am. But it works wonders. Goodbye, Reddit. My therapist told me the next time I'm going to have a panic attack to just give in and tell myself it was okay to have one. I told him he was crazy. After a couple tries, it started working to my amazement. I haven't had a panic attack in 3 years. My dad always told me ask anyway. The worst they can say is no when buying something, or when I needed something from another person. Seemed stupid to ask if I was sure they would say no, but I was also a socially anxious kid. Turns out that advice has helped me with school, with raises, with people in general, with plans with new friends. Another thing, a stupid question is better than a stupid mistake. Another version of this, the answer is always no if you don't ask. There's what you need, there's what you want, and there's what you can't afford. My dad says this all the time, and I never thought of it as useless. He just never used it. Now I have, and my money is far easier to manage. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. Jay-Z. If you can tell that someone is going to hit you, tilt your head down. Teeth don't grow back. Your jaw is lights out. If they punch the top of your skull, they will probably break their hand. Always be drunk. I heard this before and I can confirm it does work, but why? How does getting hit in your jaw kill you? Putting cold water on freshly shaved skin will make it so you don't get ingrown hairs. Some of the best advice I've ever received. How is this not common knowledge? I've struggled with ingrown hairs from shaving for years, and no one ever recommended this. Not even my doctor. So much aggravation I could have avoided with one tip. Your gums bleed when you floss because you don't floss enough. Turns out if you floss enough, your gums won't be inflamed, so they don't bleed when you floss. It's true. Or at least get an electric toothbrush. Source: I'm dental hygienist. Directly expressing my needs instead of hinting. That's secret number 1 for a successful, long-lasting marriage. Number 2 is, marriage is work but it's worth it. More people need to do this. I like to ask when someone tells me about a problem. Do you need me to give advice? Just listen. Or offer support. That helps them be direct. So it's very clear what they need, and it avoids the whole, I don't want you to help, I just want you to listen argument. People always say this about romantic relationships. But it works in any type of relationship. Making the active choice with the help of a modicum of alcohol to just tell my friends that I often feel like an outcast in our group and that I'd just like to be more included was the best decision I've ever made. Turns out they thought I wasn't ever asking to hang out because I didn't want to. And now they invite me over a lot more. My friends actually like me. Who knew? For gamers, play games that have a beneficial AFK element in-game. Then whenever you need to do some AFK stuff, spend the time it takes cleaning your house. Started playing Black Desert Online on Xbox. My house has never been cleaner and I'm doing it so regularly that it's becoming a habit, and when I'm all caught up I nap. It's like I tricked myself into taking care of me and my place with games. Easily the best life change I've made this year. I'm productive in-game, at home, and I'm well rested. 10 out of 10 highly recommend. Don't suffer future pain. In other words, worrying about all the stuff that could happen stops you from doing things, and worse, turns potential pain into actual worry and mental pain. Exercising helping with depression and anxiety. It's not a cure-all and I needed to be on meds to get to the point where I could do it. But it really does help me. I've been off my meds now for over a year under doctor's supervision. Don't stop taking your meds unless you run it by your doctor, and when I can't exercise for a few days, I can feel the depression and anxiety coming back. Now instead of going through a million things I did wrong in my head, I run for 3 miles or lift some heavy shit. Compliment people behind their backs. Sounds stupid but works wonders. I'd never say this to her face, but she's a wonderful person and a gifted artist. I meant to text friend B about friend A but texted friend A instead. I was saying wonderful things about her. I can't prove it but I think it's done wonderful things. Hey, I have a friend who does the opposite. Does that count? To clarify, I mean he insults them behind their back. It's not genuine hatred for the person as far as I'm aware, as it never really further than, yeah, they're a BTCHBA. It still is rude nevertheless. I've begun mocking him every time he does it, so hopefully that will make him stop. What work does it do exactly? I tire of the common workplace gossip that I'm surrounded by. I don't like talking bad about people if I can avoid it. But specifically, what good comes from your suggestion? If you have a clogged nose, doing 810 push-ups will temporarily clear it up. Is this just to get me to try to actually do a push-up? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. If you want your nose to not clog ever again, do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 10 km running every single day for 3 years, then punch yourself in the face once. Cleaning your house before leaving for more than 5 days. Nothing is better than coming to a clean house. I travel a lot for work and can sometimes be gone for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. There is nothing worse than finally coming home and remembering how bad you left the place. I learned this real quick and make a point to clean up before I leave. Fans on my old MacBook died. Saw a YouTube video that said to simply take your fist and bang on the part of the computer that housed the fans. Thinking it was a troll, I gave it a shot out of pure frustration. And lo and behold, they purred back to life, and I never had another issue with them for the rest of the time that I owned that computer. Back when iPods were all the rage, mine got an error. I googled the error, and the fix was to drop it from about 6 inches. I did so thinking at worst my broken iPod will be more broken. but it started right up. Percussion adjustment is a magical tool that works more often than you'd think it would. In mechanical circles, we refer to this as a calibrated tap. Spend an extra $5, $10 on wiper blades. Thank you for watching. Comment perseverance if you have reached this far into the video. Have a good day.